Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about making time fly. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, how do I make the painful hours pass until I can clock out and be released from my purgatory? And the short answer is, dude, you seem to have a lot more serious problems than what I can help you with through a video like this. But you can either do one or two things. You can change your environment, or you can become apathetic or fall back into apathy with the rest of the, well, with the majority of the world. Let me explain. So this subscriber, I talked to this person a little bit, and it seems to me that this person had a great time working as up to becoming a software developer. The school was fun, computer science was fun, stimulating problems was fun, and working on things where you have a bit of creative freedom was the sort of thing that this person really enjoyed. However, the job that he is working at today, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the national banks. Now, I'm not going to say too much about that, but I do have a little bit of insight into this because I do actually work with banks. This is not an environment where you get to spread your creative wings all that much. It is an environment where you're pretty much told on a story-by-story basis what you're supposed to be doing. And usually when you're working with very old systems, such as a bank's systems, depends a little bit, of course, on which part of the system you're working on as well. But in general, you're not building all that many new things. You're not creating things or solving complicated problems necessarily. You're basically trying to just add things or maintain something that's already existing. Now, the way that I usually solve this, is pretty much something that I've been doing since I was a teenager. I've done this because I used to work when I was really young at my father's factory, and basically all that I did at that factory was to pull out some plastic and cut it with a knife for 8 hours a day, all through summer. It was great, but it did teach me something, and it taught me that I really need more stimulating work. Like, I cannot be bored. And the way that I measure this is the same way I did in those days up until today. And it's very simple. If I find myself looking at the clock more than 5 times in a day and asking myself, is it time to go home yet? Then I shouldn't be working in that environment. And to me, that sounds like this person has definitely reached that point where this is absolutely soul-crushing work for this individual. And honestly, the only thing that I can tell you is that, dude, the proper solution here is to find yourself another occupation. Either if you're not enjoying programming, or if you're enjoying programming, you should look for another employment option. Now, I've talked to this person before, and this person has a little bit of a prejudice against working for a startup, but a startup is definitely the sort of environment that could give you back your passion and your spark for software development, because it is an environment where you actually do get to spread your creative wings, and you actually have to do things in a way where, well, you have to innovate. You have to actually use your creativity, and it is the best option, I would say, because I mean, the other option is the thing that I also stated is, and that's just a short-term solution, and that is that you try to fill up your day with pointless. Well, it doesn't have to be pointless, but you fill up the day with all the other stuff that people do when they don't really like their job, and that is going to be to go to Instagram, surf Facebook, watch YouTube videos on snake attacks or whatever you're watching, and it's going to put you into that comfortable seat that most people just ride out their entire life, and that is the apathetic seat. Like, you're just comfortable enough that you can sustain yourself, and you're basically just being alive for the sake of continuing the journey. You live for nothing apart from the next video or the next session of TV watching or something like that. You have no passion, you have no purpose in life. And these things are very important if you ask me. Now this is my personal opinion, but guys, as far as we know, you only have one shot at this life. That's as far as we know. And you can pick however you want to spend it. Nobody's going to care. You can spend it however you want, but I highly encourage you to make it a happy experience. And you gain happiness through feeling stimulated, to feel like you have a goal, a calling or something. It doesn't have to be something extravagant. You don't have to, I mean, as long as you have some purpose, some reason to get up in the morning and do something that you truly enjoy, your life is going to be so endlessly much better than it can possibly be if you're just going through the motions. In my opinion, you are wasting your life. And you are free to do so, but I can only speak for myself, and I say when I tell you that for someone who used to be that way a very long time ago and made the conscious switch and I said to myself that I will spend every single day trying to figure out what's the next best step for me, what's the next thing that's going to make me happy, what's the next thing that I can do to feel more fulfilled, to be a better person, to be more engaged, and to love my life. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. There's nothing better. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you are finding yourself in this sort of situation as this person where you are working in a company where you feel like programming is like a soul-crushing experience, this should not be so. Programming is like one of the most creative professions there is. You have so many options. Don't do this to yourself if you can avoid it. Unless you really need that job, really consider if there's other options out there, because trust me when I say this, there are so many job opportunities out there for someone who has programming skills. You have so many options, so why stick with something that doesn't really fit you? The other alternative, if you really have to stay there, is to do the thing that the vast majority of people who hate their job do, and that is to fall into social media or any of these other cesspool level endeavors that lead to almost nothing. It's just going to make you apathetic to life, and that's something that I wish upon no one, not even my worst enemy. So don't do that to yourself. Have a great day.